Begin Mega Man Special Plan 3.
Do you think it will work?
Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But that doesn't mean we won't try.
Yes, Miss Tron.
All right then, let's have some fun with Mega Man!
Alright, here we are, part 3 of the Mega Man Legends PS1 trilogy. Now, I was dragging my feet on this one a little bit. That's the reason I did Twisted Metal 2 and Tokyo Extreme Racer 3. I just really didn't want the story to end, and I also knew there was no conclusion. Well, this video will have spoilers. They'll look kind of like this. And that's all I got to say, so let's go! Mega Man Legends 2 was first released in Japan as Rockman-2 on April 20th, 2000. Next released in North America on October 25th, 2000, and released in Europe on August 3rd, 2001. Keiji Inafune once again spearheaded this project as a producer. At this point in time, Inafune had worked on all the games dating back to the original Mega Man on the NES. And yeah, that's the same Mega Man from Street Fighter Cross Tekken.
He's fat!
The Misadventures of Trombone was released with a demo of Mega Man Legends 2 in all regions. Japan, however, received a special prequel demo in which Tron has been kidnapped and Roll and Mega Man must save her. I really wish we received that one over here. The story here is much more grand in scope than the firsts. The game's opening cutscene shows Professor Barrel and his friend Ron Blucher about to hold a press conference. Both Barrel and Blucher were the only ones to ever go to the Forbidden Island and live. Blucher is extremely wealthy. He owns a giant airship, the Sulphur Bottom, that this press conference is located. The plan is to take the press to the Forbidden Island and uncover the legendary treasure, the Mother Lode. Teasel, Tron, Glide, and Claymore are all working together to swoop in and steal the treasure. Why they would ever want to work with Glide after the events in the Misadventures of Trombone, I can't understand. But apparently they're hard up for cash. They own a failing department store. Isn't Glide supposed to be in prison? Anyway. Professor Barrel is asked a question by a reporter. He instantly recognizes she looks exactly like his daughter that went missing with her husband, attempting to get to Forbidden Island.
And you, Professor? Tell me, what do you think?
Well, I think... Matilda! You're alive!
Before Barrel can ask any questions, she's discovered as an intruder. The mysterious woman dodges all the bullets and jumps out the window. She does warn them that what they call the Mother Lode isn't a treasure at all.
I'll give you this warning. What you call the Mother Lode is not what you think it might be. No, it's not a treasure at all. It's a catastrophe waiting to happen.
Stop! Hold your fire! Cease fire!
Roll and Mega Man witness the whole thing on TV. They jump straight into action to find out if this woman is really Roll's mother. I'll save the rest of the story for the spoilers at the end. I will say this, the game definitely answers questions, and there are a lot of great characters, new and old. The crew only consists of 3 for this adventure: Mega Man, Roll, and Data. Data is still running ahead of you and acting as the save point. The first action you'll see is a fire on the Flutter. This acts as your combat tutorial. Apparently Data started a fire while trying to make a pizza. Is it Data or Data? Pretty sure this isn't Star Trek.
Data, look at this.
Data.
That's not what's important. What's important is the gameplay. Pretty sure it's Data. The main questline revolves around Mega Man collecting 4 keys from the island surrounding Forbidden Island. It's just a lot of stuff happens along the way, and a lot of stuff happens after you get the 4 keys. If you want to hear more about the story, I'll recap the whole thing in the spoilers. Traveling in the Flutter is easy. Just move the cursor and select the destination. So not much to talk about here. Mega Man controls great with dual analogs. Running around feels so much smoother than the first. Since the game uses a second analog for camera movement, the game holds up really well. Firing Mega Man's trusty Buster is his main form of attack. This starts off pretty weak, but you get new Buster parts. It can get a lot stronger. Quite a few of the enemies get very bullet spongy though. Locking on can get a little weird, sometimes just snapping to something else. Enemy variety is definitely there, bringing back enemies from the first game and introducing new ones. One huge negative is just how bullet spongy so many enemies are. Not really difficult, just annoying. My Buster had max attack power and high rapid around 2/3 through the game, and I encountered quite a few enemies that took so many shots to destroy. Then some just pop instantly. You never know. I'm just kidding, you can usually tell. Bosses for the most part are some of the best parts of the game. Minus the battle with Teasel Bond. You have to shoot him one shot at a time if you don't have to pay for destroying the town's very important gold statue. A lot do fall to the run, jump, and side strafe tactic, but then some really make you change things up. I won't show it yet, but the final boss took me 7 tries before I finally won. Keep in mind this is my first time beating this one. Difficulty works a little differently here. You start off with a B-class Digger's License. There are 3 classes, B, A, and S. At the Hunters Guild HQ you can take a test to be promoted to the next class. A and S both net you more Zenny from destroying enemies than B class, with S paying the highest, B basically being easy, A normal, and S hard. I finished the game with an A license. Most of the game's action take place in dungeons called gates. This time around they're going to take some time to get through. They definitely gave me Ocarina of Time vibes, especially the underwater dungeon. I can't think of any underwater dungeon I've ever enjoyed. You have the very common water, fire, and ice dungeons. These have decent length. The few that were in the first were incredibly short. There are also a few subgates. These are smaller optional dungeons. I've always really liked optional content. There are also random battles when running around the islands. Reaver bots just pop up from the ground. It's similar to Kingdom Hearts if you've ever played that. With legends taking place across multiple islands, there are a few towns. None of these have the feel or size of catalogs from the first game. No cars driving around or anything really like that. They don't really feel very lived in. There are shops in all the towns, but man is everything expensive in this game. Don't expect to have any power-ups from the first game either. Roll sold all of it. New upgrades are a necessity to make it through the game. Sub-weapons are another staple of Mega Man. These have the potential to be stronger than your Buster, but are extremely expensive to upgrade. I had to find out if there was a good spot for grinding cash because I didn't have enough money to get through the fire dungeon. Needed extremely expensive shoes to handle the heat on some of the floors. Now there is a grinding spot earlier in the game, but still, was this just to pad everything out? I mean, honestly, I beat the game in 14 hours even with all this grinding. The town's prices of items and upgrades are definitely spots in the game I didn't like. The small towns have little character, and one of them you're supposed to help rebuild, but it's through trivia challenges. Now personally I enjoy history. I study history on a regular basis, but these are some difficult questions. This is real-world history, not Mega Man history. Math, science, and pop culture are other subjects. But honestly, this isn't why I play Mega Man, so yeah, their town never got rebuilt. Missions return. These aren't anything groundbreaking, but they change the game up, keeping things interesting. The one on the train is pretty cool. Another thing I didn't like was that there wasn't more of Tron and her serve bots in the game. I know they just got a whole game to themselves, but man are they great characters. And the Misadventures of Trombone is actually one of my favorite games of all time.
Mega Man, are there more pirates there?
Yeah, but, they're, acting kind of, funny.
Funny? What do you mean funny? Just what's so funny about me, huh? What do you think is so funny?
Nothing, I just...
What about you? I see you're still letting that second-rate mechanic boss you around. You're the one who's funny if you ask me.
Mega Man Legends 2 looks a lot better than the first. The game keeps its bright colors, and there's still heavy attention to detail. The game has an anime feel to it, or a Studio Ghibli movie. Honestly, I think about Castle in the Sky a lot while I've been playing through the series. Character animation is good, and character models are better looking than most PS1 games. It still has a very clean style that has aged well. Cutscenes are well animated. There are quite a few of them. There's about an hour and a half of cutscenes. I know I was ripping on the towns earlier, but that doesn't mean they look bad. Ruminoa City is interesting. It's a city built on top of the Nino ruins. The city is more of a fortress, and is where the Diggers Guild is located. While the islands are smaller, the game does a great job of making the world feel grand. Character and enemy design are very creative. The main characters have some small changes to their appearance, but for the most part they're the same. So many new characters appear in this one, and they all have interesting designs. Reaverbots seem to be a lot more animal inspired. I kinda like this, and made for some different types of battles. For the most part, returning Reaverbots have had a graphical facelift. There's a room in the Flutter you can decorate, Roll's room, by giving her gifts. You can read her diary too.
Oh, what are you doing with my diary?
Camera angles changed in building interiors. It was a little clunky in the first game, but I enjoyed the closer look at the rooms. I can see why they did this, and it's an improvement. I definitely like the soundtrack much better than the first. Dungeons have music. There are a couple that still have the ambient sounding dungeons. There are quite a few catchy tunes in Legends 2. Nothing I really wanted to listen to outside of the game though. Voice acting is good. Most of the original cast returned. One very important character was recast, Mega Man. If you've ever watched Sailor Moon, this is the same actress that did Sailor Jupiter's voice, Susan Roman. All I ever hear is Sailor Jupiter every time Mega Man opens his mouth. There's nothing wrong with her acting, she was just miscast in my opinion. Mega Man was stuck with a high-pitched voice in most of his appearances.
Hey, Zach! Why must I fight you? We are not enemies!
Shut up!
Once again, I really love Tron's character. Carly Larson definitely gets the best performance in my book. Mega Man Legends 2 is a hell of a good time. The dual analog control is so much smoother than trying to use the D-pad. The final dungeon really feels like it drags on forever. There are a lot of answers about Mega Man and Legends too. Unfortunately, I doubt we'll ever get a conclusion to this story. Mega Man Legends 3 was in development for the 3DS, but was cancelled shortly after Keiji Inafune left Capcom. Okay, now on to the spoilers! Okay, where we last left off, Mega Man Roll were gearing up to find out who this woman was. Well, she decided to shoot down the sulfur bottom, so now it's up to Mega Man Roll to rescue Professor Barrel. Turns out Roll has her dad's old blueprints for a dropship to get to Forbidden Island. Both of Roll's parents went missing on an expedition to Forbidden Island.
Roll! The sulfur bomb is being sucked into that storm!
Gramps!
What should we do?
We can't take the flutter in there. And we're almost out of fuel. We'll have to set down on a nearby island. We can figure out what to do then.
That's not the first time they've left a flub line in a Mega Man game.
Energy immediately, Mega Man.
So they land on Kalinka and go straight to the junk shop with the blueprints. Turns out there's a guy in town named Joe that not only already built one, but he also knew Roll's dad. And of course he lost his memory. They help him out and he lets them use the dropship. They use the dropship to get past the storm. When he lands, Mega Man's in the middle of a blizzard. He ends up destroying a giant elephant reaver bot that stops the storm around the island. He then saves a couple of green-haired people. The girl seems to know what the mother lode is and actually wants to open it. They all board the sulfur bottom. The Bonds are listening in on the conversation about how to unlock the mother lode. Mega Man is then tasked with collecting 4 keys from the ruins on the nearby islands. The first of these is Amanda Ruins. When he gets to the destroyed town, Tron is there. She starts off trying to get Mega Man to ditch Roll and join up with her.
You're looking as good as ever. Well, as good as you can, considering how that good-for-nothing blonde treats you.
What you mean?
When I ran into Miss Blondie, she told me all sorts of things. Like how she's glad she doesn't have to go out on digs with you. Do you think that's fair? She gets to relax while you run around getting shot at.
Mega Man doesn't fall for it. He then battles Tron. Mega Man defeats Tron and is able to get back in contact with Roll. Tron was blocking her signal. Tron then runs off, but not before hearing how happy Mega Man and Roll seem.
Guess what's for dinner, Mega Man? It's your favorite, pizza.
Really? It's been a while since we had that.
Uh-huh. I even managed to find pepperoni.
Can't have a pizza without pepperoni.
Okay. Right.
Look at him. Talking with her like they don't have a care in the world. Made a fool of me again. You...
What is it, Mega Man?
Oh, nothing.
That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT!
I felt bad for Tron here. Well, we got a world to save. Mega Man then heads into the gate. Bola, one of the pirates teaming up with the Bonds, is after the same key.
Huh? Did you say something, Claymore?
Did you say something, Claymore? Get with it, Bola. We might be the ones to find the mother lode. Doesn't that mean anything to you?
No, not at all.
Fairly early into the ruins, Mega Man runs into Bola.
Hi there. What's up? You're that digger called Mega Man, aren't you? Hey, what are you looking at me like that for?
He then defeats Bola, and Bola shows up again.
I'm back.
Bola then tries to give Mega Man advice after being defeated again.
Enjoy your youth while you can, but develop your skills, because your speed won't last forever. Oh, what do you care? You're not even listening anyway, are you? Later.
I like Bola. I understand Bola. Oh, and earlier, that joke about Mega Man being the MVP? Don't play with people's hearts. It's a terrible thing to do. Wait, what do you care? You're not even listening to me anyway. Mega Man makes his way through the Manda Gate, defeats the Guardian, and collects the first key. Bola showed up and told Mega Man how to get the key. He actually seemed to take a liking to Mega Man. Mega Man then heads to Nino Island, which is more like a gate with a heavily armed fortress on the top. Pirates have been attacking trying to get to Nino's gate. When the Flutter shows up, they attack them thinking they're pirates.
Huh? Those aren't pirates!
Glide's forces are the ones attacking. Mega Man helps the town fight them off. The mayor then asks our boy to help destroy Glide's base. He does so, then heads into the gate in Nino. Claymore, Bola's friend, is also in the ruins. He attempts to steal the key when Mega Man gets it. Mega Man defeats Claymore.
Well, there's still some fight left in this old man. I'll... My back. Ow, 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 ow. I can't move. Help me. Somebody, help me.
I thought I was supposed to be your partner, not your nursemaid. We're willing to call it a draw if you are, boy. Come on, Claymore, let's go.
Oh, if it weren't for my back, I'd have wiped up the floor with them, I tell you.
Yeah, whatever you say.
Next off to Salcata Island. When Mega Man arrives, T-Silbon and the Servbots are already attacking Kimotoma City. Mega Man battles his way through the city and defeats T-Silbon. This fight was really slow, since I didn't want to destroy the statue and Teasel was defending himself with it. It was one shot at a time. Mega Man then descends into the island's gate. He encounters a gigantically huge Reaverbot. He's not able to damage it, so he continues down a different path and sees Tron and Bonbon.
It must be really solid if even you can't knock it down. If we could just get that rock to fall, we could probably get the lava to stop. We've got to hurry though. Teasel says Mega Man's already here. True. It's just that I don't want to see him right now, you know what I mean?
Mega Man then teams up with the Bonds to stop the lava flow to the massive Reaverbot. Mega Man defeats it and then heads for the key. I really like this a lot, seeing the Bonds and Mega Man team up together. It was pretty cool. Too bad it doesn't last long. Bonbon flies past Mega Man and grabs the key. Mega Man has to go around, and Tron is waiting for him. Mega Man defeats her again, and this happens.
What? Why is your face red? Why is everyone looking at me that way? Miss Tron, your clothes have been kind of ripped up.
Actually, your clothes are gone.
Retreat!
Roger!
Mega Man!
Huh? What?
He reminds me of George McFly here.
What was it, George? Bird watching?
What, Lorraine? What?
Mega Man then goes after Bonbon and gets the key. Don't worry, he's okay. There's just so many movie references. Now it's time for the final key. Pirates are already attacking the town that the gate is in. Good thing is Teasel fired an experimental cannon and the refractor on the train is burned out. Claymore and Bola both decide to quit the hunt for the keys. Mega Man goes to see Joe again and gets the key to a weapon of Joe's and uses it to go after the Bonds and Glide. The Bonds then cut Glide's car from the train.
What do you think you're doing? I'll get you for this, Teasel! Okay.
Mega Man defeats the Bonds and then makes his way into the icy gate holding the final key. He's able to get the last key, and now it's time for them to open the mother lode. Okay, now here's where things get crazy and a bit convoluted, but I'll do my best to continue to summarize. The keys react to each other, being in such close proximity. Then the green-haired girl, Sarah, takes control of the sulfur bottom. It catches on fire. The Bonds then show up. Tron's worried about Mega Man. Also, the woman that looks like Roll's mother, Yuna, is also on the ship. Yuna took the body when she left her original one. Yuna and Sarah are at odds with each other. Yuna doesn't want the mother lode opened. Yuna explains that what they call the mother lode is actually known as the carbon reanalyzation program. This will destroy everyone on the planet, restoring the ancients to take the planet back. We'll get to these ancients soon. Yuna and Sarah are both pretty much like Mega Man, basically androids designed to serve the master. Geets, the green-haired guy from earlier, is transformed into a golden flying robot. He plans to destroy the sulfur bottom. Tron convinces Teasel to help Mega Man. They do help in battle, but are shot down. Mega Man then defeats Geets, but he's damaged himself. Mega Man suddenly has a memory of the Master. The Master was actually the last human left. The people that Mega Man has been living with on the planet aren't humans. They were created by the Master and are called carbons. So yeah, those ancients are us. Well, at least the humans of that world, at least. The carbons aren't very much different from the humans, though. The Master started to admire the carbons. He no longer wanted to use the carbon reanalyzation program. However, for some reason, Sarah had some power over the Master when it comes to this. The Master told Mega Man that Sarah scolded him for having such thoughts. The Master asks Mega Man to take him to Terra so he can see how the carbons live up close. The Master gave Mega Man his final order to destroy the system, then passed away. He couldn't survive very long on Terra.
Carry out my final command. I want you to destroy the system. I realize now that we were wrong.
Yuna was the one helping to restore Mega Man's memory. With Yuna fully understanding what the Master wanted, she gives Mega Man the choice to use the system or destroy it. I didn't get to choose anything. Yuna, Gats, and Mega Man all prepare to leave Terra and head to the moon where Elysium is located. Gats is the bird robot that Yuna was riding. The other characters seem to be taking this revelation all really well, completely fine with leaving their fates in Mega Man's hands. Also, they were made by some dude on the moon. Right before leaving, Yuna tells Mega Man how much Roll cares about him.
She was quite worried while you were unconscious and kept asking if there was anything she could do. She looked desperate. She probably would have done anything. Anything I told her to. If she thought it would have helped to bring you back.
Then they depart. When they arrive on Elysium, Yuna takes over as Mega Man's spotter. That's what Roll does. I think I forgot to mention that. This place took forever. Nice thing is, right before you face the final boss, you can head back to the planet. It's a very long run back to the shuttle though. This gives you a chance to grab anything you might need from the junk shop, or finish up any side quests you might want to complete. Mega Man makes it to the room where the carbon reanalyzation program is. He then goes to turn it off, but the system says it's paused. Sarah then appears.
Perhaps by defeating you, who is so sympathetic to the Master's desires, I can purge myself of these troublesome emotions.
After defeating her first form, Sarah transforms. The first form wasn't the hard one.
Shall we continue?
Yeah, this is the part I was having a hard time with. After finally being completely defeated, Sarah sees why Mega Man was so special to the Master. Yuna then appears with her old shell and asks Sarah to transfer over to it. Now that the three of them are friends, they realize they're stuck on the moon. Mega Man says not to worry, Roll will save them.
I'll think about it, once we figure out a way to return to Terra.
So what are we going to do, Mega Man? If we can't get back to Terra, then I can't give Roll her mother back.
Is that the only thing you're worried about?
Don't worry, Yuna.
Why?
I know Roll. She'll come looking for us, no matter what happens.
After the credits, we see a rocket failing to get out of the atmosphere. Teasel then says that he thought this would be easy since Data was able to return to Terra with the knowledge of the Ancients' technology. It's not the monkey's fault.
Like this, it just might solve the problem. It's really simple, really simple. If you would just listen to me, I could show you. See, look here. You stay out of this, Data. We need to make the cargo hold smaller. We can save space and make it lighter that way. It doesn't matter. With this new amazing engine I designed, we will have more than enough power. Your engine? I'd believe you if your engines weren't made from spare parts and needed to be adjusted every 5 minutes. Not everybody has tons of money to build your kind of engine. If you don't use the proper... Sorry, Mega Man, but it looks like you might be stuck up there for a little while more.
Looks like we both got our work cut out for us.
How dare you? Anyway, I wonder how Mega Man's doing. We have to get this thing working so we can go get him.
Phew! That was a lot to cover. Mega Man Legends 2 is a really great game with a fun and interesting cast of characters. There we go. That's all 3 games in the Mega Man Legends series on the PS1. Now it really does suck that they'll probably never release a sequel. What can you do? Now if you made it through this whole video and you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Subscribe! If you already are subscribed, thanks. Thanks for watching. Please like if you liked it. Peace!